Hi, I didn't see you there. Well, I'm back with a new adventure, I guess. It's I called it a Filmie. It's a no, it's a similar thing as the sessions I had done before, but it's a remastered, more precise version of it, keeping it to the film format, 90 minutes. So that's one of the big differences. It's not 4 hours long and just it's more concise. It's edited, but not at all edited because it's still live. So it's anything can happen, kind of like me stumbling through words, and yeah, everything down to the music is new. So, and concise and a little more precise than it was before. So now I don't have to worry about having it in my headphones. It's it can be played out loud and louder and be heard. So yeah, I'll continue and periodically I'll stop and I'll talk and say what needs to be said for this to be fully understood. But in the meantime, just enjoy, and I'll be showing new work that I haven't shown anyone, or I've shown. It's been seen by people that have, asked, but it hasn't been broadcast and hasn't been shown publicly. But yeah, it's a different format. It's my form of showing. It's out of the gallery. It's welcome into, basically, if it needs to be said for it to be understood, welcome to my black cube. This is what I was referring to in some of the things that I've posted before. If we painted the white cube black, this is what I meant by it. It's not literally, but it's although there are parts of the cube where I've scratched with my permanent marker some doodles and sketches and scenery into it. But so I guess I started painting it black, but it's a play on words, I guess. And yeah, I'll get back to it. This is the second painting in the trilogy of paintings. The first one was the Clint Eastwood painting, in which I can't remember if I've painted that during one of these sessions, but I've shown it for sure in pictures, and this is the second version of it. This is the second in the series, and there's a picture of this one, very crudely began, so the details weren't in there yet. But or the colors, even the colors were way off. But now it's more completed, and now I'm just adding the last few details. I was really waiting for me to be a little further done into it so I can actually show it, because especially with portraits, it's hard to show a portrait when it's not fully done or not close to being completed, because it doesn't do it justice. I was able to do that with the Clint Eastwood one, because I showed portions of the painting. I would show, I think there's a picture of the lips, and there's a picture of the eyes, one eye. Well, and that was while it was still in the beginning stages of it. So for me to do that with this one, it was going to be a different story, because it was not the same. It was not the same picture. This is I guess, more mysterious picture, more mysterious painting, because it needed to be further done and further completed for it to actually be representational of what I wanted to show. Of the, yeah, basically. All right, but yeah, I'll get back to it and continue painting and enjoy the tunes, basically. Well, you might be wondering why I named this version a filming. It's it's basically an evolution to the selfie in film format, and it's one thing that I had been thinking about for a while. Just getting all the pieces together. One was the music, two was the paintings needed to be completed for me to be able to show them basically as part of the filming. And and yeah, so it's a portrait, which is what a selfie is. So it's a self-portrait in film, and it's a different stage of basically of what I've been working on, which has been self-portraits in different formats. In self-portrait in painting, I have self-portraits in sculpture, which is the heart, the ceramic heart, which is yeah, it's called heart disease, and that's it's a ceramic version of it. And then there's one in metal. There's the metal version of the heart attack, the painting versions of the heart attack, which I'll show later. And then in sculpture also there's different self-portraits, and which are a little more conceptual really than representational, like this one is. And yeah, it's some might say it's like, you know, it's narcissistic of me to do whole these self-portraits and like and just that, or focus on self-portraits. And you know, like, yeah, it's very true. It is very narcissistic, and you know, it's because it's focusing on the self. So it's so yeah, plainly it's narcissistic. But I choose to see it as, you know, getting to know the person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. So in that way, it's more reflective than narcissistic. It's choosing to not only see the exterior or what's on the surface, but going deeper and seeing the person, basically, the interior of the self. And yeah, that's why I've chosen to go with the self-portrait route. And plain as that, if there's a reason to be had, that is the reason why. And no better place than a self-portrait in film to explain it in the Filmie. And yeah, so I'll continue, and yeah, and if there's any questions, always feel free to ask. But sometimes there are questions where I'll just look at you and be like, did you think about that question before you asked it? Because, and I only say that because I've gotten some questions where I'm like, and that's that's the only response I can hold on to while I think of something to answer the question with. Because sometimes, you know, or maybe the answer that I have to in response to that question is not appropriate to, or will take too long to explain or to be understood. But yeah, there's, whenever, I will say that, whenever, feel free to ask. I'm a well of insight. Only to, that's, I was gonna say I'm a can of worms, but that's a bad analogy. It's mainly because I have a friend who's terribly afraid of worms, and they kind of gross me out too. So bad analogy. I like to keep the analogies kind of where they make sense, but they also don't have the wrong connotation. Yeah. But I'll continue. Well, speaking of self-portraits, um, I have the new ones to show. It's a trilogy as well. It's a series in well, I guess it's a trilogy because they're sculptures, not paintings. But there's 5 in the series, and they're woodwork. Yeah, they're, as opposed to working on a canvas. I chose to work on a different medium, one that I'm familiar with because both my brother and my stepdad work on, they're familiar with wood, with carpentry, and so I've always, it's one of the things I have more access to, really. It's it's easier for me to find a piece of scrap wood and versus finding an old canvas that I can work with. And but even then, I mean, there's been some canvases where I'm like, I want to paint over, and just out of respect for the canvas, it's when they're mass produced, it's kind of like, and I want to work on something. I want to shomp that shit and put up on there. Yeah, but I haven't, just out of, because it's in its own. I wanna it'd be saying something, and it's the medium in which I work on. It's I'm being selective. There's Yeah. There will come a day when I will not have that luxury, and when that day comes, you know, I will I will suck it up and deal with it. But for now, I want work that is gallery worthy. One will will survive the test of time, and is basically worth my while, worth my time working on it, because and it says something. That's one thing. Not I don't have extensive knowledge of the art world, but I do know that the medium, the format in which it is shown, it's important, and it says something about the piece, or it should say something about the piece. So I guess, maybe that's just the way that I feel about it, and that's my statement, but it does say something about it, about the work. It's a drawing on a college ruled notepad is different than a piece of paper that's fancily and expensive, and well, I guess that's partly the views. It's it does, the art world, the fine art world sees it differently, sees that differently, and but drawings come in different formats and different settings, and there's a range in that way, I guess. And from lined paper to the copy paper to fancy print, recycled, or one of the mediums of paper that I've worked on has been construction paper, and that's a perfect example of what I mean by the medium says a lot about the work, or what its intention is. I chose construction paper for that same reason, because it was construction paper, and my hope is to, in the future, when it's more than just drawings on construction paper, they become literal constructions, the paper for literal constructions. And I've never said this out loud or to anyone, but that was my intention, or that is my intention, for why I chose construction paper, and to make those drawings on construction paper. I displayed them, I want to say, roughly a year ago, without that explanation, because at the time it was preliminary to say something like that, because the purpose for me, from my showing those drawings, were just for that, for showing them, for distributing their content and their imagery. And they were, it's a series. It's a really cool series, actually. It's I want to say 50 drawings, one part of them is a 31-day calendar, like a month, and then the rest are just additions to that. But yeah, it's that's my hope. Like that's what I mean by I focus in fine art, and the medium and what the work is displayed on. It's it matters. For context, content, and message. And I don't know, I'm kind of rambling now, but I do that sometimes. But yeah, it's like what it's on. And one day those drawings will be constructions. I hope for that to be a possibility one day. And I know that it can be. It's but I don't know. It's kind of clever, huh? Construction paper. One of the other things that I do as well is play on words on a lot of things. In things that I write, it's I'm kind of mischievous in that way. Like things that I do are play on words, double meanings, and yeah, it's kind of, it requires a sense of humor. I always require a sense of humor because in a lighthearted way. I can be serious sometimes too, actually, most of the time. But it takes that having a joyful spirit as well. Yeah, I was gonna show the woodwork, but let me do that next. Let me work on this a little bit longer, and then I'll show and talk about the woodwork. Yeah. Okay. The woodwork. Yes. It's it's an interesting series because it has both sides. They're sculptures. I just have them be sculptures because it's more interesting. And plus the wood that I was working on with, it's made them double-sided, and it's yeah. There's one side, and then one side is meant to be the focus versus the other, but they're take me some time, especially this one. I'm not the best with the anatomy, and this one was just working off reference of my own body. So it was yeah, it was challenging, but enjoyable. And then well, I'll show this other one last. And you've been watching each other this whole time because the other sculpture is right over here. This is the other one. This was the first one completed. And it's and yeah, like the others, it has another side. Most, if not all, my work is reflective, so it has to be. So that's why they're best viewed in person, not on. They'll be in a gallery one day, but for now there's pictures, but they will never be quite, it'll never be quite the same as seeing it in person. But yeah, there, you know, you're meant to walk around these because there's, you know, multiple sides. Even this side, there's texture to that. But the one that I'm kind of like, I'm torn between. Well, actually, like all three of them. They each have a side that is very, I don't know, intriguing to them. I love this one just because it's, well, the sphere. It's the eclipse sphere. I like that. The anatomy. I like the fact that it took me so long to complete it, and how it came out. I really like it. And then for this one, plain and simple, it's this side. I completed. This was the first side that I started on, and I finished. And when I got to the back side, I was like, what can I possibly you know, do on the backside that could, you know, be worthy of being on this side. But in continuation to the other work, and in connection to the other work, this was what I conceived. And it's this one takes further explanation for me to get across what is meant, which is, I don't know, I don't like to talk about my work, plain and simple. But there's things to be said about these. That's where the questions come in. That's what I mean by, you know, I guess I have expectations for questions that I choose to answer. And when questions about my work are questions that are smart questions. What did you mean by this? Those kinds of questions I like. And I can go on and on about that. But yeah, it's this one. There's this. I guess that's what I meant by that's what I meant by it's a 5-piece series, but a trilogy in the sense where it's 3 sculptures and 2 paintings, all out of their wood, so it's a 5-piece series. But yeah, okay, enough about this one. My favorite, and I guess relevant in the sense where it's, well, you'll see right now. It's out of these pieces, out of the sculptures. Let me put this one. Is my Star Wars themed sculpture out of these. This one I started a while back. I'm trying to recall. I think the trailer hadn't come out for the new Star Wars. Or, yeah, I don't know. Last year? for sure. So I don't know if I can't remember if the movie wasn't out yet, but I can't remember if the trailer was out yet either. But I started this one, and it's just, I don't know. It's one of my favorites just because it's the concept of it. I loved. I took the piece of wood that I used was, I had a chip, and it's okay, I guess I can show it, it'd be easier. You see there's it was split in two, and that's how it began. And but yeah, that's why this one's my favorite, because it's taking a natural form, which is the wood, and the nature of the split in the wood, with the mechanical aspect of the content in the drawing and the painting. So, you know, that's why I connect. I guess I like it the most because I connect to it the most, in the sense where, like the heart attack, the heart sculpture, it's taking a very organic and natural thing, which is the heart, and taking a mechanical aspect to it, a mechanical perspective on it, and I'm trying to reflect it. But yeah, and then this is the other side. It's my Star Wars themed because it's my Star Wars inspired. It's my R2D2 and C3PO. Yeah, that's one thing that I like to keep in, since I started that. The Heart Attack series was the mechanical and organic aspect of them, and in the work, and that's one of the reasons why, out of all the things that I could have continued painting on, wood was one of the mediums that I chose to go with, because it's wood, it's from the earth, so it's organic, just naturally being, basically. It's organic in a, I don't want to say pure sense, but it's organic. It's not pure because it's been cut down and filed and shaped and screwed together. But it's organic in the sense where it's from the earth, and it's natural being. But yeah, so this is the 3-piece series in sculptures. These need to be, or should be, seen in person, I feel, because of the reflective quality. But yeah, I don't know. The movie just came out, so it's very appropriate for my Filmie to come out a little bit, 3 weeks after, and having this piece of work ready to display, is adequate and appropriate. And yeah, I finished it in time for it's like, I think it was like a few weeks before the movie was gonna come out, and I think I had a few more details on this side, just the luster and stuff on it that I wanted to finish. I was like, will there, will I, will there be time? But either way, it's like I still had all the other things, all the other pieces to finish on this. So it took me a while, and it took me a lot of mental preparation actually. Like I think I was on here for like 3-4 hours just getting the little things ready and my mindset ready to be live for 90 minutes to probably, I don't know, at least 90 minutes, because that was my goal. I was like, it's going to be film format for it to be an appropriate film, not 4 hours, because that's even, I wouldn't be able to sit down for 4 hours. So that's why it's an evolution to the selfie, and a refinement to the sessions that I had done prior. Yeah, let me show you the other two, which are the paintings in the wood series. I'm always inspired by film. So as you can tell, not very mysterious. Um, the other paintings are Clint Eastwood. It's from a movie. This one's from, it's referencing an actor as well. The Star Wars one. It's also a film. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do a film for myself. Because it's part of myself. I enjoy watching movies, and yeah. So one night oh, actually, one of the nights that I did one of the sessions, and I said I had just finished watching a movie, so I felt awake and up and ready to do one of the painting sessions. So I was like, that was one of the movies I had just watched. It was, and that night or later on, I was like, I chose to make a painting about it. So it was Big Brother, not Big Brother. It was 1984 that I was watching, and as if you haven't seen it, go watch it. And the concept behind these paintings was or is, what would an advertisement be now if that movie were to be made today, I guess. Because during the movie, one of the things that caught my attention was the advertising. There were signs, and yeah, and that there were, I want to say I don't know, it's like, I guess advertising, because they weren't really advertising anything, but there were signs in the film, and I took the text from them and made my version of that. So that was the inspiration from them, of these. And this is one. I'm kind of hesitant about this because the message, or the text, it's daunting to think, but it's kind of, even like with the Clint Eastwood one, I'm kind of hesitant about that one too, especially with all the gun control, talk right now. I'm like, it's, and they're like, going in the painting, but I guess that's what art is for. It's to create a conversation. So here's a new conversation. It's a, but yeah, this is my version of, oh, it's backwards, or it shows backwards, but yeah, so if one of those signs were up now, this is what one of them would be. And so this is what one of the in the movie, that one of the signs was that text, and then this was another text in that, which is very, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I chose to make them. It was just, it seemed very today, very relevant in the sense where it's a, you know, we're still in constant war. It's kind of, it's like, this is our status quo. But yeah, it's, I don't know if you can see the colors very well, but yeah, it's yeah, 1984. I think George Orwell. Go watch it or read the book. But but yeah, so that's a 5-piece series in wood, and yeah, I'll continue working, and I'll show you some other work, and just, yeah, I'll put up I'm gonna post pictures of the new work soon enough. I'm not ready to show all the paintings. These I haven't even taken pictures of them, or the sculptures. So those I won't be posting pictures of them. But you've seen them now in video, so they exist. And but for these other paintings, I'll be posting other pictures. And yeah, one thing that I do wish from my work is to create conversations, if not with me, because I do say ask me questions, create a conversation amongst yourselves, because that's one of the things art is for. Not always to have, not necessarily meant to have a sophisticated conversation, but because it's for the masses, really. At least my art is, for the most part, it's for the masses. And like, there are encrypted details that require some extra knowledge to, it's the fine art aspects of it, like the construction paper part that I meant, the things like that. I mean, but now I explained them, so it's kind of not that elusive. But yeah, like, it's for the masses. Create a conversation amongst people, and whether it's good or bad, it's something that that didn't exist prior. So it's kind of cool. That's one of the things about myself is that, like, I'm very approachable. No, I'm just kidding. It's yeah, it's I have a lot to say, and uh, a different perspective on how to say it, and yeah. But I'm glad I was able to show the new series of work. I hadn't shown them prior, not even sneak peeks and photographs. So it was kind of exciting. I'll show the I'll I'll put them up again one more time, just so it's a oh, it's a fave. That's the thing. It's like sculptures. I was used to making sculptures and in ceramic and metal. I had just learned, but wood was one of the ones that I had been wanting to for a while, but I just hadn't. And yeah. And I'm glad I was able to, because I wouldn't have been able to explore something like this. Like this one's the quirky side of myself. Yeah, all in all, I am aware of that. The spelling. It saves me from any claims for using just in case there's a copyright on the word Big Brother. Which is very annoying. That was one of the reasons why I decided to have my own music, as opposed to like previously in the other videos I had just music playing in the headphones, and that caused some claims. So this time I was like, I chose to avoid that, and yeah. So, but it led to a beautiful collection, a new collection, and yeah, and led me to find a different talent that I didn't know I had, and yeah, it's kind of exciting to to even explore that, composing music. It's the only experience I had was learning how to play the accordion when I was a wee boy. Yeah, I don't know. My mom chose. I think my mom chose accordion. Won a few times, and then I stopped going because I don't know. I don't know. My social life was was struggling. I had to go to practice. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's pretty exciting to go from just knowing how to play the accordion to making those sounds. I don't know. It's exciting. It's kind of cool, and it's I surprised even myself. I mean, mind you, it's not a, you know, I wouldn't be able to put lyrics to that just because that's not me. That's not how I would. I don't know. It's not in me to be able to put music and lyrics together. It's just not me. But music part of it, like it's interesting. I'm really content with it. It's haunting, and I'm really proud of it. It's a good collection. So yeah. I hadn't prepared to talk about the music. That's why I'm like kind of stuck on what I'm even saying. I wasn't even gonna mention it, but yeah, that's part of that's why it's a Filmie, because even the score in the film is done by myself. So it's it's a self-portrait. You know, there's I I keep on saying that because I want to stress the fact that that's what it is. It's a self-portrait on steroids, I guess. It's, you know, to the max. The paintings. What I'm saying. It's not scripted. It's live, and it's coming from myself, as if I were having a conversation. Because I am having a conversation with. And yeah, the music's there, the setting, the lighting. You know, yeah. But the score just wanted to make sure that normally that was part of the sessions prior. It was the music was part of it, just, you know, because that's what fuels me to continue to work really while I'm working. It's apart from film, music is another thing that inspires what I do. So yeah, so for me to be able to put it all together, it's exciting. Filmie. It's like I'm gonna start hashtagging filming like crazy, and see if it catches on. Um, I'll keep I'll keep going on this. Like, it's frustrating me because yeah, I'm kind of I'm not happy with the with the with the application of the color I was working with, because it looks like like I know, but yeah, I'll keep working on it. I got frustrated with that one. It looked like I was giving him a black eye. And obviously didn't want that. So I need to. Yeah. Need to be. It's coming along though. Yes. I just needed to correct the nose. I gave myself a nose job in the painting versus how it really looks. So I was just making it more accurate to my own nose. Just the bridge. But it was very rigid prior, but I don't know. It's the lighting too. So this one's lit from this angle up. Yeah. The prior picture that I had posted of this one didn't have any of the background, and the hand was missing the finger. It was like a fingernail. It was just like the nub of the finger. Man, but yeah. Both of the other paintings are myself if I were older. So I'll mention that too. It's like either myself if I were older now, or my father in the present, I guess. But yeah, they're both this one and the Clint Eastwood one are inspired from film. That one's from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This one's and he's an actor, Mexican actor. So yeah, and I'll talk about these two a little later too. Give me a second. I just need to. Yeah, I gotta do a little work on this one. Oh well. Since they showed that other painting, I think I should show that this three pieces of work they go together. And I mentioned it's actually four because this one has a collage version of this one, but it's yeah, this one I can. There's pictures of this one in different stages, which is kind of cool because now it looks nothing like those pictures. So it's inspired by film, from the film The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and yeah, this the first one in the series, and this is the second one, which I already showed. Yeah. So this series is, is called The Good, the Bad, and the In Between, and this is the In Between. So I don't think I had shown this one either. I talked about this one with my sister extensively, and I explained the little nuances in this painting, and I won't go into detail about this one. But yeah, it's one of my favorite. I say that about all of them, so I shouldn't even say it anymore. But yeah, it's completely different than the other ones. But it's I don't know. But like the other ones, it's reflective. So I have to. It plays with the light. But yeah, so that's the series. The Good, the Bad, and the In Between. Named appropriately because of the movie The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And yeah, I just wanted to get a different take on it. And that's what the title inspired the series to. It's like, It's a film. I'm always inspired by film, and yeah, it's one of my first loves. Anyone's really. I mean, who doesn't like going to the theater? But yeah, it's I should show the original. It's the collage version, and I didn't intend for the person to look like this person. I purposely changed the form in the facial structure, but just the same. It has the similar design, and the difference between these two, one is the background color, one is pink and one is blue, and then it's this one's, the line work is different for the background. This one's more of a, it's like futuristic in a sense. That's why it's like future days, and then that one's days lost. So in that sense, it's yeah. I guess I could close up of the detail. I don't know what I was thinking about with these. Well, I do know what I was thinking about with the line work, but it was like it's my rendition of something like futuristic line work, but still keeping that same idea of a dripping, of the color dripping. So it's like I don't know. From having done this one, I knew that I wanted to continue the dripping, and that's, it's a little more exaggerated with the other one. It's a little more exaggerated because it's a lot more, but it plays into it plays well with the blue. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the series. And it's a 3-piece, 4-piece, depending on how one wants to see it. But yeah. Get back to that. since I'm showing this one, and this one I had already been working on prior, so you kind of had a glimpse of me working on this one. But the other one, or the other ones in this series, are the heart attacks. It's the sculpture, which was their sculptures. There's this little one that's a metal sculpture, and then but the paintings, I think it's another 3. I guess I'm used to working in 3s, but it's this other one that I had already been working on, and you had been seeing. There's this one, which is, it's cool too. I use the same format as in the other ones. This one and this one. The same frame in the sense where it's like a film, like a movie. And yeah, so it's a different portrait, I guess. It's perfect right now in its viewing. It's both versions in each side, and then it's like there's this one too, the heart attack in the middle. But yeah, it's like I wanted to keep visually represent the idea of film in a painting. And then the other one, which is the street version of it. And those are there's pictures posted on the website right now, but they're not viewable. So these are it. And that's what I meant by I'll be posting up the pictures soon. It's these pictures that I'll be showing. I'll be putting them up. And it's this one. This one I really like. It's reflective, so it's kind of. But yeah, it's the street view one because of the texture. It has a different texture than the other one, so it's that's why that's the title of this one. But it's a 3-part series, and I made the frames. I'm really happy I was able to make these frames. They fit really well in the pictures. Well, I guess, like the other one, it's a 4-part series. I always forget about some of the paintings that I've done. The landing painting. The landing painting is the first in the series. So I guess it's 4-part series. I just forget. But yeah, this was completed in 2012. So it's, it's a lot more colorful than the other ones. But a lot of my work is colorful, and some of it is subdued. But well, I never shy away from color and the exploration of the rainbow and the colors that it brings forth. Yeah, it's yeah. I guess I can keep working on this one because it's gonna bug me if I don't like continue on. There's a few more things I want to show, I guess. It's I did finish. I was working on the Mas painting, so I want to show that one, and I finished it. It's completed. And this is the last. Yeah. It's I want to. Yeah, it looks further on than what I had shown prior. It's a, you know, I think I showed most of my collection. This is the last of the ones I should show. Other than the Speed Racer one, it's yeah, I could, never mind. I'll show that one too. It's I was speaking about, the filming, or what it means, what the filmie represents, and what it means. It's basically film from in its purest form. I was talking about, there's an essay that I wrote a while back, and I posted, and it spoke about the purity of in art and what that means. And at that time, or that essay was referring to the modern period in art, and the purity that was sought after at that time. The the purity in art, you'd see a canvas it represented painting and the essence of painting. So what I wanted to do with this film is to show the purity of film, and down to every detail, like the to be exaggerated and show the example, but the camera work is myself. It's self-portrait in its purest form. It's the lighting, the set design, the score, the dialogue, so the script, it's purity, and it's speaking about purity. And so yeah, it connects to that essay in that sense. But what I wanted to do with this filming is show the purity of a self-portrait. The self-portrait in its rawest form, in its most relevant and current contemporary form, which is film. I at least personally, I believe that film is the most contemporary art form. It's the most current. It's apart from photography, film is newer than photography, I think. I'm not too sure about that, but at least where it's progressed, it's further on than photography. And I have to check my history on that. What came first, photography or film? Not as a puzzling question as the chicken or the egg, but still interesting. El Niño is here. It's raining outside. Yeah, the self-portrait in its purest form is what I sought after in the making of this, and I really hope, and leave your comments, and so, if you want to further talk about it, but that's what I sought after in this experimentation of live broadcasting. And yeah. I wanted to, that I think that was the last topic that I knew that I wanted to touch on. I was gonna show the other painting, but I'll hold off on it until later. And then, but yeah, because I need to finish this, and yeah, but that was it. The purity of the self-portrait. That's what I sought after in this, and I hope I explained it enough. At least what I meant by purity in the art form. You know, it's you know, it's the aspects of film, what it represents. So the selfie is a self-portrait and photograph. That's the, you know, pretty self-explanatory. It's that's why it's a selfie. So then this is a filming, a self-portrait in film, and I wanted to keep every aspect of it as, you know, as personal as my work, and encompassing, you know, what it means to make a self-portrait. You know, it's an age-old, you know, idea and concept. You know, a self-portrait. Every artist has a self-portrait, and you know, it's not until now that self-portraits in the form of selfies that have become a trend or a fad. And but painting and drawing that's, you know, the only way you can make a self-portrait. They've been, you know, self-portraits have been around since then. So it's like, don't take self-portraits for granted, because they always say a lot more about the self than meets the eye. And sometimes, you know, the person taking the self-portrait isn't aware of it. But as a self-criticizing artist, I'm always aware of what my self-portraits say, and that's why I'm you know, that's why I love it. I love the self-portrait. It's you can say a lot of things about with the self-portrait, and without saying too much. And it's a visual medium, so it's everything plays a part. And I've explored the self-portrait in photography in a way that I haven't been able to in paintings. But in the same way, it's that's why I love film, because it's the actor gets to play a role in that movie, and it's not always the same. It's the same person visually, but it's a different character depending on the film. So for me to take photographs and make self-portraits that say a range of different things is very I hold that very close to my heart because I feel like I've been able to accomplish that, and to play different parts. Mm, Not in films yet. This is the first of the sessions, but this is the first filming. But I've been able to play different parts in photographs, like taking a page off Cindy Sherman. That's a photographer, and her film stills, which were photographs, self-portraits as well, that took the idea of a film, and she did it very well, and yeah, it's like it was like a scene from a movie, and that's what it was. That's what that was. And for me to, you know, be able to do something like that in that range with photographs that, I mean, not mine didn't or weren't meant to look like film stills, but now I'm able to make a film about a self-portrait, and it's a it's a change in perspective and a reflection of the idea. So yeah, and like look her up as well. Two things I mentioned in this to go watch. Um, Cindy Sherman, go look at her work. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, let me continue on this. I said I was gonna show the. I guess this is that this is one of the paintings that started it all, at least in the series. Mhm. One of the Speed Racer one. It's one of my favorites, just because it ties in childhood and it's yeah. So this is, I just wanted to show you this one stands on its own. Just it's not a part of any series. And but yeah, it's just one of my favorites. Like visually, it blends the dimensions. Yeah, so I brought it out because I said, oh, this is the last painting of the moon. That's the one I was missing to show. And then this is the moss, which I had talked about prior. So in the spirit of moss, more, I'm gonna there's more to come. That's one of the things that is inherent in me. It's my restlessness to continue to make work and build upon the collection. That's yeah. So yeah. Oh, and I also that's the other one I had been working on and I finished was this one, which is I can't say it's part of a series, but it's the first heart. No, the second anatomical heart that I use. Because then there's the other one that I have. But yeah. So this one's finished as well. It's just it's almost done. It's the nose that's giving me damn nose. It's giving me trouble. But it's coming along. I had it painted and it was very like it was rigid. It was like a straight from the bridge from up here to the tip of the nose, and so yeah, and that's obviously how mine doesn't look. Mine's has a little bend, but man, it's coming along. I think it's time. That was yeah. It looks completed. It's um yeah. I don't know what else to say. But yeah. Other than goodbye for now, and there's other formats from which communication is possible. And yeah, it's that's, I don't know what else to say. It's I must, you know. Other than, you know, this is my filming, and yeah, it's there's, I don't know, I really don't know what else to say. I guess that's clue for a completed task. It's like I'm just, you know, I explained, you know, my my wanting the, you know, the purity in a self-portrait. I explained how the self-portrait is what I've, you know, I've been working on this whole time, and I continue to work on it. It's just in different, with different aesthetics, and and, and, and yeah, it's yeah, I can't wait to be able to be showing this somewhere, and be able to have a conversation with the viewer and have a response. And remember, don't make me give you that look. One asked the question that is. Nah, I'm intimidating people about asking me questions now. No, yeah, I can't wait to have that dialogue, that conversation, in which no, whatever. Actually, like I'm very chatty for the most part. So yeah. But the point is, I can't wait to have this displayed in a bigger space, out of the cube, and yeah. Until then, you know, farewell. And there's no credits to roll because you know, just it's just myself, me, myself, and I. That and that's filming in its purity. The filming in its purity, and yeah, I should have had like I was thinking of having a card with fake credits go through, but like write down fake credits on a piece of paperboard. But yeah, I know. I was just That was just the sound of rain. But go check out the website, and if you want to see further work. And yeah, goodbye.